Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into Blankshot Championship Wrestling. Tonight's a special night. It is the inaugural episode of BCW Storm. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to the ring for tonight's first match. Alright everyone, so in our first match, we are going to start out the night by having our Halfling Grappler, which is Jeff Halfling. And he's going to be taking on the Goblin Brawler, who's going to be representing the New World Order. So we're going to start out the first turn here by rolling off for initiative. So we're going to roll the dexterity for both of these guys, starting with the Halfling Grappler. He's going to roll 2 silver for his dexterity, and he comes up with a 4. And for the Goblin Brawler, he's going to roll 3 copper. He rolls a 6, so he's going to go ahead and start out the first turn. You can see that our wrestlers are going to start 4 spaces in from the corners. So the Goblin has a movement of 5 and then 5 action points. So he's going to make his way over towards Jeff Halfling here. So he makes his way over here and he's going to use his first action of 5 to try and perform his crowd pleaser. His pop value is 2, so we're going to have 3 action points left after this. So let's roll and see if we can pick this up. So he is able to pass the crowd pleaser by rolling the cheer. That's going to turn his attack into 1 gold plus 1 until the end of his next activation. So now that we've done that, we have 3 action points left to go. We're going to go ahead and use our upgraded attack value to attack Jeff now. So his attack is now 1 gold plus 1. So we'll roll our first attack here. He rolls a 4 plus 1 for a total of 5. And now Jeff is going to try to defend himself by rolling his defense. He only manages to roll a 1, which is going to give us a difference of 4, resulting in a beatdown. And if you roll 4 more than your opponent, we're going to do plus 1 damage, meaning Jeff is going to suffer 2 damage at turn 1, leaving him with just 3. And the Goblin Brawler still has 2 attacks left. So let's go ahead and do the same thing again. This time he only rolls a 2. Let's see what Jeff can roll for defense. Jeff rolls a 3 for defense, so there is nothing done on the second attack there. So we are going to try to do it one more time by rolling the same action 3 times. It means we're going to have no class, and we're going to have to pass a crowd pleaser in order to get this off. So we have to roll the crowd pleaser first. So on the crowd die, we roll a blank, which means that we do get to take our third action here. So let's go ahead and roll for that now. So we can roll that 3 plus 1 to give us a 4 for our attack. And on Jeff's defense here, he again manages to roll a 2, which means he's going to take another point of damage, leaving him with just 2 at the end of the Goblin Brawler's activation. And we're going to go over to Jeff for his turn now. Alright, so over to Jeff. Jeff is going to have a movement of 4, and he has 5 actions that he can take. So ideally he would want to get up to the turnbuckle, but we're just out of range to do that. So let's go ahead and take some actions, and then maybe we'll start making our way over towards that general area. We're going to start out like the Goblin did and try out our crowd pleaser. So let's go ahead and roll for that. Jeff only has a pop of 1, so it's only going to take 1 action point for that to happen. So let's see what we can get here on the crowd die. The crowd is really hot tonight. We get another cheer for him, so his crowd pleaser is going to go off. That's going to make his grapple 2 gold until the end of his next activation. So, now that we have that going for us, let's try and launch some grapple attacks. So our grapple is now going to be 2 gold. We'll go ahead and roll our first grapple attack here. So Jeff is able to roll a 5 with the 2 gold plus 1, and now over to the Goblin for his grapple in defense. He manages to roll a 2, which means that Jeff is going to do a point of damage there. That's going to be 2 actions for him so far. Let's go ahead and do another grapple attack with him. So we get a 4 on our second grapple, and the Goblin puts up a 2, so he's going to take another point of damage there. Jeff's going to go ahead and try to make a rope attack now by using some of his movement. So remember, he has 4 movement points, so we're going to start out by going diagonally here for 1. And then we're going to come back off of the ropes here and rebound right into the Goblin. That's going to give us an extra copper die added into our attack, so we're going to roll 2 copper for our rope attack. And unfortunately that's going to result in a 0. The Goblin does get to defend himself, so he's going to roll his defense. He blanks as well, so that is a whole lot of nothing. Jeff still has 1 action, so let's go ahead and just do a standard basic attack by rolling our attack against the Goblin's attack. Jeff's attack value is 1 bronze or copper, whatever color you want it to be. Whatever it is, Jeff rolls a 0 on it. The Goblin's defense is a 1 also. He puts up a 3, which is good, but not enough for a beatdown. So now that each of our players have had a turn, we're going to go ahead and kind of deviate from the book rules for a minute, and we're going to go back and we're going to roll for initiative all over again. So this may be a very one-sided match, or it might be a back and forth. Anyway, let's go ahead and roll dexterity for the halfling here, who rolls a 4, and for the goblin, Goblin's going to roll a 6, so he is going to go first again. The Goblin is still benefiting from the crowd pleaser that he got off in the first turn, so his attack is still 1 gold plus 1. So again, we're going to start out by launching an attack here. So let's go ahead and do that. Goblin rolls a 3 for his attack, and then in Jeff's defense, he is going to whiff and be down to his last point of damage here. And now the Goblin, feeling it wants to take him out in style, so he's going to make his way over to the turnbuckle. Using 4 of his movement points there, we're going to use another action to now climb the turnbuckle. So the Goblin has used his movement to get over there to the corner, used an action point to climb the turnbuckle, and the referee has now moved over in position to tell him to get down. So we're going to use our last 3 action points to jump off of the turnbuckle and perform the Green Eagle, which is going to do 4 coppers attack. It's going to do 3 damage if we wind up hitting it. And we got a range of 6, so we're going to go ahead and come off with a turnbuckle now. Well, it looked cool while he was in the air, but he whiffed on his dice roll. So we roll a 0 across all 3 copper dice. Jeff is going to get to defend by rolling his regular defense, which is 1 silver. And you can just picture him kind of swatting him out of the air as he successfully defends himself against that aerial attack. And because we made that aerial attack, the Goblin is going to take a crowd pleaser, so let's go ahead and roll that. That does wind up going off, so his attack is going to be back to 1 gold plus 1 for his next activation. Over here to Jeff's turn, after just knocking the Goblin out of the air, he's going to take to the skies himself, so he's going to use his movement to get over into the other corner. So he's going to come down here, use 1 action point to jump up on top of the turnbuckle, and then he's going to use his remaining 3 to jump off of there and do the bowling bomb. That is a range of 6, and we're going to get to roll 2 silver dice as our attack. And if we land it, we're going to do 3 damage. So we're going to position Jeff right there. He's going to come down. He's going to roll a 4 on his attack. And now the Goblin is going to go ahead and roll his defense, which is just 1 copper. And he comes up with a blank, so Jeff is going to get a beatdown. So we're going to do 3 damage from the attack, plus 1 for the beatdown bonus. And that is going to take away all of the Goblin Brawler's stamina, reducing him down to 0. So we're going to lay him down in his space, give him a KO marker, and that's going to be the end of Jeff's activation. We're going to go back now to the start of our 3rd round, and again we're going to roll for initiative. Now the Goblin is knocked down, but he still gets to roll his regular dexterity for his initiative to see if he can somehow get back up. We're going to start out with him. He's going to roll 3 copper for his initiative, and he manages to roll a 1. And now for Jeff, he's going to roll his dexterity. He also rolls a 1, so we're going to go ahead and roll off again. So we roll off again. Each wrestler does a little bit better, but we still manage a tie. And 3rd time through, Jeff is finally able to break the stalemate, and he's going to have first action in round 3. And now we're in round 3. This is a pinfall match, so Jeff is going to jump on top of him and try and pin him. We're going to do that by rolling off with weight. So Jeff is weight 1. He's going to roll 1 copper. And the Goblin is knocked down. He's going to roll 1 copper as well. But the Goblin rolls a 1 as well. So it's a kick out. And we'll go into another action for Jeff. Determined to win the match, Jeff is going to try to pin him again. So he's going to drop on top of him and hook the leg this time and see if we can get the pin. Definitely not that time around. The Goblin kicks out at a 1 count. So Jeff wanting to do the same move 3 times in a row, he's going to have no class, and he's going to have to roll the crowd pleaser die to see if he can try and pin him for a 3rd time. The crowd wants to see him try and pin him again, so let's do it. Jeff rolls a 2. Let's see what the Goblin can roll. We'll roll this one in the ring. You saw it. The Goblin rolls a 3, and he's able to get out. Jeff's going to chance it again because he's doing the dirty move twice in one activation, he's got to roll 2 crowd pleaser dice now. So let's do this. And the crowd's over trying to see him pin him. So Jeff fails miserably. He's going to be stuck with 1 negative action point in his next round. And let's go over now and see if the goblin can stand up. We're going to do that by rolling the crowd die, and on a cheer, he's going to get back up and have 1 stamina point left. And he's going to stay down. Back to our dexterity roll off. Let's see if the goblin can stand up this time around. Roll his 3 copper dice. And now for Jeff with his 2 silver dexterity. Jeff's going to win, and you know he's going to go for the pin again. So the first pin attempt is going to fail. Second pin attempt is going to fail as well. Let's see if Jeff can pass the crowd pleaser and go for a 3rd pin. Crowd wants to see him pin him finally for the win. Let's try it. He rolls a 2. Let's roll for the goblin. The goblin rolls a blank, and that means that Jeff is going to win the first match of the night. Well, what a great match that was. Thanks again for tuning in to Blankshot Championship Wrestling. Make sure you guys super kick the subscribe button, drop the like, and share this video like it was one of the Godfathers. Wait a minute, I'm being told I can't say that. Go ahead and share this video with your friends. And we'll look for you all on the next episode of BCW Storm.